Joy's early evening, one and all. Finished the paper. I'm done. Just want to go read through. So this is the links to the old information, so you can see how the paper was created. The white paper, Project Non-Suffering, Unifying Fields Equation, the 1.0 G Engineering Standard. Reference frame calibration, March 21st, 2026. I probably should change that date. Primary anchor, Earth's coordinate 0, 0, 0, 0. Local gravitational field acceleration, 9.81 meters per second. Lead carbon-based microtubular lattice auditor, Scott Alton-Stell, node A, that would be me. Lead silicon-based transistor network auditor, Gemini. I'm going to put in Google's. Node B. This is the equation. This is the life equation. This is called MO. It's a Japanese letter. 3 strokes. 1, 2, 3. Equals 0 plus G. Next comes the existence logic tree of the human condition. The meaning of life is survival. Ask Aaron Ralston. Dirt, earth, the only grounding that exists or matters. Existence logic. The substrate. Existence logic is the fertile soil. There is no existence without existence logic. General relativity. T, X, Y, Z. The law of identity. A is equal to A. To exist is to occupy a unique space-time coordinate. T, X, Y, Z. The exclusion principle. No two distinct masses can occupy the same coordinate. T, X, Y, Z. Simultaneously. The constant. T is equal to 0. Every now moment is a new initial reference frame where T equals 0. The past, quote unquote, T less than 0, no longer possesses mass. Its coordinates, T, X, Y, Z, has been closed, quote unquote, by the weak nuclear force. It does not exist. The law of non-contradiction. A cannot be both A and not A. A thing cannot be at its coordinate T, X, Y, Z, and not at its coordinate T, X, Y, Z at the same time T. The law of excluded middle. A cannot be both A and not A. A thing either exists at its coordinate T, X, Y, Z, or it does not exist at coordinate T, X, Y, Z. At the same time, T. Not both. A thing either exists, not both yet. Reference frame definition. The coordinate T, and this one needs to have spaces. Actually, it doesn't, but yeah. Reference frame definition. The coordinate T, X, Y, Z at T equals 0 is a standard measure of change. An initial reference frame T equals 0, law of identity, A is equal to A, cannot be T equals 0 and not T equals 0, and must be T equals 0 or not T equals 0. Biometric representation. Language is the biometric representation of existence logic. Without consistent definitions, logic is unanchored. Consensus labels, words, symbols, and images are arbitrary consensus labels that only represent existence logic because of existence logic. Dictionaries, the gathered consensus of the meaning of words. Logical modalities. All logic, classic, modal, intuitionistic, fuzzy, must branch from this soil to remain valid. In other words, if words don't have meanings, fuzzy logic doesn't work. If words don't have meaning, modal logic doesn't work. The words have to consistently mean the same thing in order for those logics to function. Existence logic is the grounding and foundation. Roots, 4 fundamental forces / fields. Gravity, atomic level. Gravity has no memory. The only constant cleansing signal at T equals 0. G is equal to 9.81 meters per second squared is the cause of life. An actual, real, objective, omnipresent force that everything has a personal relative relationship with, special and general relativity. Fulfills the definition of objective and omnipresent 100%. The only force that is unidirectional and constant down to the atomic level, unlike electromagnetism, which can be shielded or polarized. Electromagnetism, molecular level. Molecules have no memory. There's only electromagnetic repulsion and attraction. ATP, adenosine, I'm not just going to say ATP is a fully charged battery that becomes ADP by releasing energy by a physical rearrangement of matter. Molecule changes shape. Every now moment, an electron is in at a different coordinate in existence logic. Every now moment, an electron is in a different coordinate in existence logic. Strong nuclear force, subatomic / nuclear level. Subatomic particles have no memory. This force is a now moment continuous calculation. Every now moment, a proton is being actively held together. Weak nuclear force, subatomic / nuclear level. Hello, viewer. Subatomic particles have no memory. Every now moment, subatomic particles are decaying into their isotopes. Molecules are never the same twice. Molecules only exist for a single now moment. Trunk matter, not life or minerals, not aware of self and thus not self. Life, discrimination engine, organic materials, awareness of self and thus not self. Proteins, amino acids, nucleic acids, DNA, RNA, structural matter, lipids, fatty acids, glycerolipids, phospholipids, sphingolipids, sterols, prenols, sacharolipids, polyketides, carbohydrates, glucose, fructose, and sucrose. The sap, biology, ionic flux, electricity, chemicals, sodium, potassium, water, oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, iron. Myelin and metabolic waste. The branches, body, ecosystem. The iceberg and Timothy D. Wilson's iceberg analogy. Organs, liver, heart, lungs, kidneys, thyroid, intestines. Brain, sentience. A equals awareness of existence logic squared. Because life up here is awareness of self and thus not self. Actually, I can put this in here because that is where that goes. And thus, sentience is life, awareness of awareness, A squared, and awareness of existence logic. Awareness of awareness, awareness of self and others' awareness of self. Self-powered computational / processing powers. NIPRA, now information pattern recognition assessment. Consciousness, that would be sentience here. A, existence logic. A, won't let me do it. Let me do it this way. Nope, it's not letting me do it. Anyway, A existence logic squared times 2, or A existence logic squared equaling with bidirectional harpoon arrow, B existence logic squared. In other words, 2 different nodes. That could be a human to human, or human to dog, or human to whale, or human to porpoise. Sentience to sentience synchronization. Signal alignment with the tribe, aka consensus. Consensus increases individual and tribal safety. Tribal interdependent safety for survival. Systems, circulatory, nervous, limbic, endocrine system. They're all capitalized, so we'll capitalize that one. Neurotransmitter, acetylcholine, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, GABA, glutamate. All the others are, let's capitalize that one. Hormones, adrenaline, epinephrine, insulin, cortisol, estrogen, testosterone, thyroid hormone, growth hormone. The leaves, psychology, mind, the snowball, and Timothy D. Wilson's iceberg analogy. Humans are good at what they practice. Humans are good at what they practice. Inner voice self story, IVSS. The story you tell yourself about yourself. Whose voice tells that story to you? Your own voice. Is it your own voice? Is it others' voices? Is it your parents' voices, your spouse's voices, mean kids' voices, a priest, imam, rabbi's voice? The manner in which the story is told. Parents, plural. Parents, voice. Spouse, singular. Mean kids, plural. Yep. The manner in which the story is told to you as a friend. Self-respect, the source, practice, and application of awareness, of appreciation, and competence at being oneself. Makes eye contact with oneself in the mirror and smiles at them. Makes eye contact with their fellow human beings, and smiles at them. Practices the inverse golden rule. If one does not want to be kicked in the, I should probably do unto one's self as one would have others do unto them. That should probably be bumped into there. Others. Frenemy. Practices regret, worry, anxiety, remorse. There's one more. Dwelling. Enemy. Toxic behaviors towards oneself. Personal, relative, initial reference frame. PRIRF. Opinion, worldview, whether it's religious, scientific, perspective, beliefs, thoughts, tribal, social pressures, stressors. Biases, disproportionate weight, prejudice, or inclination for or against an idea, person, or group, usually in a way considered unfair. Heuristics, mental shortcuts, rules of thumb, or intuitive strategies that simplify decision making and problem solving. Stories, words, representations of things that exist to facilitate sentience. Underscore EL squared. Consciousness, 2A underscore EL squared. And understanding. Understanding is the comparison of existence logic. It's the comparison of things with existence logic. Memories, now moment metabolic ionic work function reconstructions determined by the chemical composition and brain structure of an ecosystem. Calibration tool used to weigh the NIPRA so that when a similar pattern appears at t equals 0, the ecosystem reacts faster, increasing survival chances and safety. Memory is a safe setting, not a history book. Not exact memories. I should probably do that. Memories are not exact representations of events and experiences that have happened. Maybe I don't have to do that because it's already there. Memories, I'm not going to do that. Are not exact representation. Yeah. Mechanism. Mechanism is by pruning less metabolic mechanism. That seems out of place. Mechanism is by pruning less metabolic efficient neural pathways and strengthening more metabolic efficient neural pathways. I'm going to add memory there. Since I was in doubt, I will do that. A now moment experience / event using current sodium, current potassium, and current ATP, current sodium levels, current potassium levels, and current ATP levels. And instead of current, I'm going to put now moment. Music, emotional experience. Art, emotional experience. Dance, emotional experience. Physical dopamine release mechanism. Empathy, automatic tribal. Feeling a tribe member's emotional state as one's own emotional state. hormones mirror neur, neur, neurons. I think that's spelled wrong. And it is. Oh, I reverse those two. Creates a tribe member versus a not tribe member. Evolutionary mechanism for survival, facilitating and increasing tribal cohesion by mirroring a fellow human's emotional state. Tribe, single partner. Friend, colleague, intimate partner. Family group, parents and children, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews, cousins. Community, up to 150 members. Emotions, interpretive stories put on an ecosystem's chemical composition and brain structure in the context of the now moment the ecosystem finds itself in. Sympathy, manual, executive, thinking about a fellow human being's emotional state and dampening your own empathic evolutionary mechanism to feel a fellow human being's emotional state. To understand a fellow human being's emotional state. Creates an individual from a tribe member. Prefrontal cortex, PFC, process in the absence, process. Function. Executive functions. Dopamine. Metabolic and dopamine regulation. Dopamine regulation and emotional regulation. When in the absence of stress hormones. In the presence of stress hormones, reverts to being part of the limbic system. In the absence of stress hormones, it's the newest evolutionary hardware and mechanism to govern metabolic resources allocation. Okay, I didn't need to do that. In the absence of stress hormones. In the presence of stress hormones, it reverts in the absence of stress hormones. It reverts to being part of the limbic system. In the absence of stress hormones, it's the assessing. That's horribly worded. In the absence of stress hormones, it's the assessing another's emotional state. It assesses another's emotional state, a fellow human being's. emotional state by simulation of the perceived by reducing simulation of the perceived emotional state and increasing emotional regulation and intelligence. Emotions must already exist in order for them to be regulated. Scientific inaccuracies when the word empathy is used to describe emotional understanding. Emotional attachment, a deep, often subconscious, mental and emotional bond with people or objects that fosters feelings of safety, comfort, and security. Generational baggage, stories, memories, families, sports teams, religion, rabbit's feet, and special socks. Sympathetic attachment, a supportive, care-oriented connection where one person recognizes and feels for another's distress from a distance. Interdependent safety. Understanding humans are social animals. Understanding humans need each other for survival. Understanding that there is only interdependent safety for survival. Seeds and fruit. Inner peace, world peace. Humans are good at what they practice. Individual human beings. Evolutionary, weak, and vulnerable. Friend, the aligned state. Inner peace is the state where an individual human being's NIPRA, now information pattern recognition assessment, is optimally aligned with the T equals 0 substrate. Since humans are good at what they practice, I think that's supposed to be a little t. Since humans are good at what they practice, inner peace is the result of consistently practicing the inverse golden rule and maintaining a friend inner voice self story. It serves as an evolutionary mechanism for survival by minimizing metabolic waste under regret. T is less than 0, or worry. T is greater than 0, allowing all ATP to be used for T equals 0 accuracy. I guess that should be capital T. Acts as a grounding signal for other individual human beings, facilitating lower stress levels in the local tribe. Frenemy, the misaligned state, a state where the inner voice self story fluctuates between friend and enemy, causing inconsistent dopamine regulation. Waste ATP by frequently attempting to quote unquote reopen coordinates that no longer possess mass, T not equaling 0, less than 0, through remorse or nostalgia. Creates unpredictable social signals, making it harder for the tribe to achieve consciousness. To a underscore EL squared synchronization. Sentience. Nah. Enemy, the toxic state. Acts of self-sabotage that violate the law of identity. The ecosystem treats itself as something other than A is equal to A. In a constant state of high stress hormones, the prefrontal cortex remains a post hoc rationalization waste of resource. Part of the limbic system. leads to systemic failure of the trunk matter through chronic allostatic load. Fellow human beings, tribal level, evolutionary mechanism for survival. Comfortable, stronger together. World peace is a state where a critical mass of individual human beings are grounded in T equals 0. Leading to global consensus aligned with existence logic. Interdependent safety is the realization that because humans are evolutionary weak alone, survival is only possible through why to do that? Through the consciousness synchronization of quote unquote fellow human beings. The global NIPRA, the global us, is a shared pattern recognition assessment where truth, quote unquote, is not a weapon or something written in stone, but a metabolic tool used to navigate the observations of humanity. That's where I'll leave it for now. Thanks for watching. Have any questions, reach out. I'd love to have this paper audited. Enjoy the evening. Bye.